Izu was born into a wealthy family, but his parents disowned him because of his dream to become a pro gamer. He ran away when he was still young and lived with his best friend Su Muqiu, who also had the same dream. Our story begins when esports is officially recognized as a sport in China, and the popular MMORPG called Glory has just started its first ever sports professional championship league. By July, pro teams from all over the country will compete in the sports scene for the first time. Players from all over the provinces start forming their own teams. In two expert Glory players, Yuzu and Su Muqiu, talk about the league while at work in an internet cafe. Su Muqiu tells Izu that he's excited about joining the pro league because he'll get to fight against the best Glory players in the world. He adds that he wants to touch the 24-karat gold trophy that the winners will get at the end of the championship. Izu argues that joining the pro scene means he'll have to sacrifice a lot of things. In response, Su Muqiu asks him if he doesn't want to touch the trophy. Izu does want to touch it and become a champion, but at the same time, he knows that his identity will be exposed. He first needs to get his family's approval, otherwise, he will end up tarnishing their name and increase their hate toward him. Hearing this, Su Muqiu offers to help him out. That night, Izu and Su Muqiu are doing their usual work in the internet cafe when they are asked by their boss Tao, who's a bad player, to join his hunt to kill a world boss. Izu and Su Muqiu slot in their Glory cards in the login machine and call their usual raid group members to help their boss out. The Cliff Ron and Alpine boss have just spawned in royal style. A group of professional players try to steal it from Tao, who's not only their boss but also the guild leader. Izu introduces Kai Breaker, a martial artist, to Tell when the latter tells Izu that he's going to lead the team. Izu briefs everyone that royal style players are all bad, except for the exorcist, who's the only one who has an idea of what he's doing, so he tells the team to separate the exorcist from the royal style main team so he and Su Muqiu can finish them off. The mission starts, and the boss enters its enraged state. Tiebreaker appears from the shadows and disables the Kai points of the exorcist, sending the guy flying. Su Muqiu follows up with bullet rain skill, and Izu throws his evil annihilation spear towards the enemy, sending the exorcist down. Meanwhile, emotionless magic summons an ice wall, cutting the path of the remaining royal style, while Spring Heaven finishes off the remaining members. The exorcist recognizes Izu's skill, and Yuzu asks him to admit defeat, but he refuses. Izu then starts dueling him to activate the 7th stage of Battle Spirit, a 120-hit combo passive skill that greatly boosts the player's attributes and fighting style. Yuzu then increases his finger's speed, planting a face kick toward the exorcist's face. The exorcist tries to take Su Muqiu out, but Izu manages to blow him away to the respawn point. The next day, Yuzu meets with his twin brother Ikkyu, who asks him how he's doing. Izu tells his brother that he's finally about to go pro, but to his family, video games are seen as nothing more than an expensive hobby. Yuzu then tells him that becoming a pro player isn't just playing video games. His brother informs him that their parents are asking how he's doing because Izu is doing nothing all day but playing video games instead of taking over the family business. Izu tells him they're like kites, and their parents are trying to chokehold their flight, but Ikkyu just tells him to do what he wants, and he'll hide it until their parents approve him again and then hands him a face mask to cover up his identity. After meeting his brother, Izu accompanies Su Muqiu and his little sister Su Muqiu, and they reminisce about how they met. The next day, Su Muqiu upgrades Izu's weapon Evil Annihilation, telling Izu that it's the best weapon in the game right now. He further assures him that it should take the #1 Glory player in the world further into the competition. At work, they are approached by Tao, their boss, inviting them to join the team he's assembling to join the Pro League. They spend the next couple of days renovating their new headquarters, and the two finally become the first unofficial pro players for the Excellent Era Pro team. While the two are at the Excellent Era HQ, Yuzu sees Su Muqiu creating a new character, Dancing Rain. Su Muqiu tells him that it's a surprise present for Su Muqiu. Their raid party team members arrive a few seconds later, being the ones who will also join their team composed of Izu, Su Muqiu, Emotionless Magic, Woven Shadows, Spring Heaven, and Kai Breaker. With the Excellent Era team members complete and ready to go, Brother Tao asks them to sign the contracts and bring out their IDs for documentation. Unfortunately, Su Muqiu gets his ID and tells the team that he'll go back home to get it. Su Muqiu manages to get home, get his ID, and then head back to the HQ. While heading back, the windy bad weather makes a 3-branch crack over a car where the driver tries to dodge it. The car starts to spin and ends up hitting Su Muqiu, ending his life. With Su Muqiu now brotherless, Izu becomes her guardian, creating a huge problem for the Excellent Era team. Excellent Era is not doing so excellent right now, especially with one of their best team members missing from their ranks. With the deadline coming close each day, Excellent Era pushes their best efforts to look for an expert player to join their team, but they get declined each time until the last day. Someone finally gets past Izu's requirements and fights against him. Total Darkness challenges Izu in a 1 vs 1 match, but he didn't even get a chance because Izu absolutely destroys him. Izu hands out the contract and asks him to join his team. With Total Darkness completing the team member account requirements, Excellent Era is ready to fight in the tournament. Before they join the competition, Izu gives Su Muqiu her brother's final gift, a glory card, and tells her that her brother made her a character, Dancing Rain, who looks just like her. A couple of days later, the Glory's first Pro League starts, and Excellent Era enters the stage in their first professional match against Blue Rain, being the #1 player in Glory. Izu carries Excellent Era with his dragon skill, and they dominate the preliminary stages, winning the individual 3v3 and 5v5 matches. After the fight, Izu accompanies Su Muqiu back home. Machong confesses that she's afraid of being alone after her brother's death, but Izu reassures her that he's there and everything is going to be alright. After winning matches by matches, Excellent Era faces off against the self-proclaimed best team, Royal Style. The fight starts, and after a couple of minutes, Excellent Era and Royal Style are down to their last 2 players. Izu locks Peaceful Hermit in a while Total Darkness is engaged with Peaceful Canoe, who are both their captain supports. Izu warns Total Darkness not to let their guard down and to wait for an opening to strike. After an exchange of words, Peaceful Hermit charges and dives his scythe at Izu, which Izu dodges and follows up with a spear charge, activating his V-style Sky Strike. Izu uses a Sakura Strike, but Peaceful Hermit counters with 2 binding talismans to restrain him. Down to their last hit, Izu orders Total Darkness to finish off Peaceful Hermit, but Royal Style was already expecting this plan. Peaceful Canoe sacrifices himself to redirect the attack, and with this final attack, Izu reaches his 120-hit combo, activating the 7th stage of Battle Spirit for the first time in a Pro Championship tournament. So Izu and Peaceful Hermit face off in the final battle to win the trophy. The Zu initiates the attack and starts fighting Peaceful Hermit. The two fight for a full-on minute of intense melee action before coming to a stalemate. Zu resumes attacking, and Peaceful Hermit tries to block the attack, but Izu breaks his guard and kicks him down. He then tries to follow up with an attack, but Peaceful Hermit destroys the platform he's dashing on. Peaceful Hermit comes out of the rubble and enchants his side with lightning, and the two square off once again. Izu sneaks in another Sakura Palm Strike, but Peaceful Hermit counters with 2 talismans, blasting their health bars down to their last hit. Peaceful Hermit then enchants his scythe with extended weapon range and charges into Izu's range, but Izu hits his 119th combo before blocking Peaceful Hermit's attack and using it as a platform to catapult himself upwards. Emotionless Magic navigates the ground floor, and before running out of MP, he uses his magic to send Woven Shadows to support Izu. Izu hits his 118th combo with the enemy's cleric and then asks Total Darkness and Kai Breaker to wait for his signal. Spring Heaven gets eliminated and orders Emotionless Magic to bring Woven Shadows to support Izu. Izu hits his 117th combo with the enemy's gunner. Total Darkness finally appears on stage, and Yizu drastically increases his attack speed output to hit his combos. He quickly disables the gunner and tries to activate the 7th stage of Battle Spirit. With the enemy's cleric jumping off the platform, Peaceful Hermit goes to intercept Yizu. Yizu hits his 116th combo before blocking Peaceful Hermit's attack and using it as a platform to catapult himself upwards. Yizu sneaks in another Sakura palm strike, but Peaceful Hermit counters with 2 talismans, blasting their own health bars down to their last hit. Peaceful Hermit then enchants his scythe with extended weapon range, and as he confidently charges into Yizu's range, he gets hit with a Poison Ivy knockoff ability, Rose Vines, restraining him and stabbing him with his evil annihilation, ending the match. Excellent Arrow wins Glory's first Pro League, finally fulfilling Yizu's dream of becoming a pro player in his late best friend's dream. Watch this next video.